Okay, guys, this is blowing up on TikTok. This is Susan Smith. And she was married to this guy named David Smith. Now, here's the story. Now, in 1994, Susan was having an affair with somebody's wealthy son. Now, I guess one day they were talking about their future, and he was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Because you already got kids, and I'm not trying to be involved with that. So I guess they start arguing, and they break up. So Susan goes home, back to where her husband and her kids are. She puts the kids in the car. They go on a drive. One's a 3-year-old and the other one's a 14-month-old. The kid's smiling. They happy. He on his little iPad. He don't know what the fuck going on. They never do. And then all of a sudden, boom, she drives them into a lake. And obviously, she gets out before that. Now, I don't know if she truly thought that this plan would get her that man or something. I don't know. But this is sick. So then, she runs over to someone's house, start knocking on their door. Do. Help, help. She's like, my kids have been kidnapped. Please help, call the police. I don't have my phone. They call the police. They pull up. She tells them all the same thing. And they go to the station and ask more questions. So they're like, okay, what'd he look like? She was over here like, it was a black male. Barely saw his face, nose, da-da-da-da. Which this is really annoying and devastating if you don't understand as a black person. Because they took this sketch and plastered it all over the city and state. And then you gotta think about how many black people the cops went out, harassed, and arrested because they matched the description. It just pisses me off. So Susan goes back to her husband and tells him the same story. And of course, he believes her. Still don't know about the affair. And now she got him standing with her at press conferences, on the news, telling the world the same story, the same lie. They all looking for this black man.
Okay, I was stopped at a red light, and just out of nowhere, this black guy came up and just opened the door and jumped in the car, and he had a gun, and he had it pointed in my side and told me to drive, and so I did. And when I tried to ask him why he was doing this or whatever, he just told me to shut up or he'd kill me.
Do you know anything better about it now than you did last night?
No. They've got people everywhere looking for him. You can hear the helicopters are there, and but they haven't seen anything, and it's crazy. And it's been since 9 o'clock last night, and I really thought that when it got daylight, they would find him just in a heartbeat, but I haven't. He said, I want my mama. He said, Mama, where you going? And I told him, I said, baby, I gotta go, but you're gonna be okay. And I told him I loved him. I hollered I loved him. And then, the guy slammed the door and he took off. And I just felt like such a failure. Please bring them home to us where they belong. Pray every day that you're taking care of them. And know that we will do anything we will to help you to get them home back to us. I just can't express it enough.
She don't even look sad in this motherfucker. She don't look sad in this one either. Not one tear in any of them. And some people noticed this. And they was like, nah, I think she did it. And they made a response video.
I do understand why they're having to do what they're doing. I'm all they have. Right now, they have not been able to rule anyone out. I don't think I'm any more of a suspect than anyone in this case right now.
It's very painful to know that anyone would think that either of us had anything to do with this abduction of our children. But me and my wife know the truth.
So now Susan got her whole community, the country, having search parties looking for her children for the next 9 days. Then one day, the investigators was like, hold on. Susan's story isn't adding up. 2 plus 2 is equaling there is no kidnapper. One of the things that she said was supposedly she got hijacked at a red light. And the cops was like, the way that this was set up, this could not have happened at this intersection. So they go back to see Susan and her husband David, and they have them do a lie detector test. The husband goes first. The lie detector man says he passed with flying colors. Now, I cannot say the same thing for Susan, because we already know. When they tested Susan, she was failing over and over and over. That fucking, whatever that thing is, a little wiggly thing when you lying, it was like crazy. The lie detector man said, yeah, that's a fucking lie. One of the questions that really got her is when they asked her, where are your kids at? She couldn't lie about that one. So Susan starts admitting everything. The cops ain't surprised because they're like, yo, cars don't just go missing. So boom, they arrest her and they take her to trial. Now, by the way, I'm going to tell you why all of this is important because something just happened. Because this was in 1994. She starts telling them it was all a lie. She drove them kids into the river. The cops look at her like, you sick fuck. David like, and then she was like, I was having an affair. Cops like, damn, David, bitch. I don't know what feelings that man was having, but he probably wanted to choke her out. So they arrest her on the spot. So the cops go over to that river and they pull the car out and the boys' bodies were found dangling upside down in their car seats, bro. David had to see the bodies of his children. He's like, yeah, that's them. And I know that crushed him. Ugh! The police tell the public, they all in shock.
We're going to make a brief announcement. There will be no questions answered after the statement. The statement is it. Susan Smith has been arrested and will be charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of her children, Michael 3 and Alexander 14 months. The vehicle, a 1990 Mazda, driven by Smith, was located late Thursday afternoon in Lake John D. Long near Union. 2 bodies were found in the vehicle's back seat. Identities are pending an autopsy. Charges against Smith will be signed by Union County Sheriff Howard Wells.
After this, David divorces Susan, which, no shit. So now Susan goes to trial. The judge ready to give her the needle. But for some reason, somehow, the jury, for some reason, said, hey, that's too harsh. We should just give her life in prison so she can think about what she did for the rest of her life. Now the judge says, okay, we'll give her life in prison, also with the chance of parole. Which, what? How? Oh, hell no. Now, I'm not sure how, but this is insane. So boom, she gets booked. So now guys, here's the part. 30 years later, just November 20th, they just did her trial for parole. The judge over here asking her questions, like, do you regret drowning your children? She over here crying and snotting up, saying that she feels bad, that she's so sorry, which personally, I don't give a fuck. Remember guys, she got rid of him because she was trying to get with that dude. That's insane.
So why should this board think that if we grant you parole that you're going to go out and follow the rules and the laws of society if you do not follow the rules within the institution?
I know I made a lot of mistakes in here, and I have learned from them. And before this last infraction had been 10 years, because I grew up and I knew that I needed to stop making dumb decisions, and I did. I knew it was time to grow up and do the right thing. I just made a lot of
Where the fuck are the tears?
choices and mistakes in here. So I know I've learned from those mistakes.
Now, in this video, you hear the judge say that she's been making mistakes in the prison. Basically, Susan got in trouble a couple times in prison. She was fucking the correctional officers, possessions of drugs, and I guess she gave contact information for her family and her ex-husband to a documentary producer, which was against the rules. She's like, I know what I did was horrible, and I would give anything if I could go back and change it. Another thing she said is, God is a deep part of my life, and I know that he has forgiven me. Now, a bunch of people came to this trial to give their testimony on why she shouldn't get parole. Even the husband, David, came. Which, oh my God, I hope he's been doing well. The hurt in his eyes is crazy. He tells the judge, nah, 15 years for each child, 30 years is not enough. She needs to stay in there way longer than that.
It's been a tough 30 years. Just here to advocate on Michael and Alex's behalf and as their father. You know, God gives us free choice, and she made free choice that night to end her life. This wasn't a tragic mistake. It wasn't something that she didn't mean to do. She purposely meant to end her life. I never have felt any remorse from her for it. She's never expressed any to me. I've never seen it on paper. You know, you've heard, she changed my life for the rest of my life that night. Some for the better, some for the worse. But what she did, not only to Michael and Alex, she came pretty close to causing me to end my life because of the grief that she brought upon me. But thankfully she didn't. I understand back in 95 that through the state's law, life in prison meant 30 years to life. And now that's different, but at that time, that's what counts. I understand that. But ultimately, to me, that's only 15 years per child. Her own children. It's just not enough. So I'm asking that you please deny her parole today.
This shit kills me. Now, it didn't end there. Even the prosecutors was like, oh, hell no. Leave her in there. So boom, the judge rules she's denied parole. Now, what's crazy is that in South Carolina, every 2 years, she gets to have another parole hearing. Like, oh my God. Maybe I'm being biased, but I think she should stay there. How does she even get parole? You already know that everyone, including David, is going to pull up every 2 years to make sure she don't get out. Choosing a man over your children is crazy. You never love them. By the way, guys, Dead Gang hoodies are out now. This is like our first piece of merch. It looks like what I'm wearing right now. I made sure they're extra thick and this quality is nice. Dead Gang is not a membership or a clique. It's a way of life, a perspective for your win, to survive this human experience. And that's why I got a whole other channel that talks about these things. It's hard to live in this world and you know that. Dead Gang's purpose is humanity. If it don't help my people, I ain't doing it. So you see these patches? That's the Dead Gang symbol. There's like 25 people that got this tatted on their bodies, which I wasn't even the first one, which was crazy. And this right here means humanity. I didn't make enough, so once these are gone, I'm not making more. So in the future, I'm gonna know who the OGs are. This is the website. Keep popping your shit, star. We got work to do. I'll see you in the next video. I love you.